You're listening to Sips of Sanity, your toolkit for emotional and intuitive intelligence, or what we like to call the dirty work. Let's do it.
Well, hello, Kelly.
Hi.
I'm really excited for this Sips of Sanity.
Ditto.
Yeah, we are going to be doing shit we think you should know.
Yeah.
And we don't do this very often, but when we do, it's a little different than the rest of the Sips of Sanity series that pick one topic and try and give you a bunch of tools in one area. And this time for this month, because it's going to be midwinter here in where we live in Canada, we thought a series like this on shit you should know would be fun.
And a little lighter, I guess. And like it's an offering. Like if you want to research yourself on the topics that we're saying we think you should know these things, then you can. Versus like when we go deep in other months.
Yeah. Okay. And so the very first one that I'm going to start with is vetting, which is a word that I've learned in the last couple of years. I never knew vetting when I was younger.
Oh.
Yeah. And I wish I had known about vetting when I was younger. That's why I think it's shit you should know. And in particular, well, let's just discuss vetting first of all, overall. So to vet something or somebody means that you're willing to look at something or someone without making a decision in the split second. So you are more willing to look at the red flags that they present. You're more willing to look at, do their actions align with their words? You're more taking wait and see attitude. So you're not just saying right off the hop, I really like this person, or I really like this book, or I think this is fantastic, or oh my God, I'm in love, or oh my God, I got a job, so this is it for the rest of my life. This is where I'm going to retire. No, when you look at something through the eyes of vetting, you're going into it with a wait and see attitude of, let's see if this is the job that's going to be good for me long term. Let's see if this person and I have compatibility, if we have the ability to work through an argument together, if we have the ability to build a foundation together. It isn't just maybe attraction, for instance.
Yeah. So vetting is an active process. And I think I'm just going to kind of like piece together some things that you're saying. Because vetting is not the decision to not make a decision. It's not the wait and see. That is a state of being for sure. But vetting is actually like I'm taking in information, I'm processing it, I'm piecing things together for consistency in order to make a decision, right? It's a very active process. And I will say too, you did know what this was in your 20s. You were an assistant to many, many people in your early careers.
True.
And you've watched companies vet their employees or potential employees, right? So it's definitely something you were aware of. But we're trying to say, why should you know this? Because you can vet your friends. You can vet the people that you date and the people that you get into long-term relationships with, right? And you can vet someone even to the point of like, even if they are your in-laws, let's say, you're vetting them to see like, how much am I actually going to open up to you? Because I'm seeing or I'm vetting how trustworthy you are. You can vet, I mean, how many people did we vet to make sure that these guys went into the right training process? And I'm pointing to one of the dogs right now, right? You can make sure that people are properly qualified, whatever that definition is, for the thing that you need or want from them.
Yeah, and I want to point out too that I also learned to appreciate that others need to vet me. I didn't assume that if I met somebody that they thought, oh, here's my next best friend, here's my next girlfriend. I took the attitude of they might not like me. They might not appreciate who I am, and they might take a wait and see attitude and go, you and I will be acquaintances. I'm good with acquaintances. Or I'm good with a fair amount of distance between the two of us. I'll see you once in a while. So I think vetting is important to understand that you have the right to do it yourself and that it's necessary. Mature, secure people vet. Good businesses vet. Good friends vet other people. Because it means that once you've made the decision that they're in your circle or that they are trustworthy or whatever you're vetting them for, then they can truly be in and you can truly open up. So it creates the ability to feel safe and secure so that you actually can create a better, healthier relationship that's more open and that has a better connection.
Cool.
And I say that too, Kelly, because I see many clients wanting a new partner or a new job or more friends and saying things like that they're afraid to trust again. And one of the things that I've learned from the spirit guides that I hear often is to tell them to vet people so that they have healthy control in the relationship. So I want to that's the first little gem I wanted to share.
Cool.
Number 2 is to be as clear as possible in your speech to stop ambiguity. Ambiguity meaning unclear in your speech. And the reason is that if you are clear in your speech, then you're creating safety for other people because they understand clearly exactly what your boundaries are, what your wants are, what your desires are, what your hopes are, what your goals are, perhaps what your feelings are, if that's what you're sharing in that moment. But they're not left wondering. They're not left guessing. And I say that because so many people think, well, if he loves me, if she loves me, they should know who I am and what I want. And it's almost like they're testing them by being ambiguous. I shouldn't have to tell you. If you and I live together or if you and I work together long enough, you should know. Well, to some degree, yeah, that is going to happen. But everybody has the right to change who they are, what they like, what they want, what their goals are, all through life.
Yeah, if any two people are engaged in a conversation and the other is walking away with less clarity, you've broken something. And I'm not saying it's not repairable, but two parties have to work at understanding, right? So if we are not working at being clear in what we're communicating, we are breaking a connection with that person on the other end by creating, like you said, that ambiguity and seeing if they're going to reach back out to make a connection, but we broke it, right? Now, both parties have a responsibility to ensure that clarity occurred, right? So that listener or that person on the other end does have the responsibility to clarify the message, right? Maybe summarize what they think they did understand so the speaker can go, whoa, thank you for saying that. That's not what I meant. Here we go, right? So I'm not saying it's always the speaker's fault, but we both have this responsibility to create clarity before we walk away.
That's a great point. And one more point to being clear is that you have to be clear about your boundaries. So we're not just saying be clear about, I want a cup of coffee and I want decaf instead of caffeinated.
Well, you're getting into the weeds though. Like be clear just means be clear.
Okay, fair enough to say if we're going into the weeds.
Well, you're saying specifically what a thing is, right? So whether it's needs, wants, or desires, everything falls into those categories.
Yes. That's good.
Okay.
That's great. That's good for today then.
Okay, so then I'm hoping that people will want to join us for the rest of the series because we got lots more things that we think you should know. Thanks for listening to Sips of Sanity. Catch the full monthly workshop on patreon.com/the Sarlos.